Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. In Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, free agency is now in full effect, and Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears have already made many moves to bolster the Chicago Bears roster. And I wanted to come on here, and over the next couple of videos on Keek on the Mic, I am going to be doing a deep dive an analysis on the players that the Chicago Bears have already signed to this roster. So in today's video of Keek on the Mic, I'm going to be talking about linebacker TJ Edwards. Obviously, this was Ryan Poles' very first signing. 17 minutes into free agency. This is a guy that we talked a lot about leading up to free agency. I know that we were also talking about Bobby Okereke. We all thought that Okereke was going to be the guy, but the Chicago Bears went into a different direction. And 17 minutes into free agency, they got their guy and TJ Edwards. So I'm going to do a deep dive and analysis on the contract that we gave TJ Edwards. We signed TJ Edwards to a 3-year, $15.5 million deal with $12 million guaranteed. And something that I want to add in today's video is something that I really like about this contract is that this contract can be as short as a 1-year, $8 million deal. If he happens to get hurt or he underperforms, the Bears can cut ties with him after 1 year. And this is something that I really like about Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears' new approach to free agency. He mentioned that he wanted to be smart and he wanted to make sure he got good value in these contracts. And this was outstanding value to get a guy like TJ Edwards, a guy that is still ascending as a player. He's young, he's still growing, and he's continuing to get better. I feel like this is an outstanding contract for Chicago Bears to land a guy like TJ Edwards for the value that they got him at. Going into free agency, I thought that TJ Edwards would net a lot more in a contract, but Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears pulled off a miracle and got TJ Edwards to Chicago for a very good deal. So overall, it's an outstanding contract and deal for the Chicago Bears with fair value, which I expected from Ryan Poles. And the Chicago Bears to be smart about the contracts they're giving out. Even though that he has a lot of money, I realized that he wasn't going to go out there and just spin. He was going to be smart about the players that he brought in through this organization. So when you look at a guy like TJ Edwards, Bears fans, he is an awesome story. The first thing that I want to bring up in this video before I go any further is that TJ Edwards is a homegrown Chicago, Illinois guy, right? He's from Lakeville, Illinois. He went to Lakes Community High School. So he is coming back home to play for his hometown team. He grew up a Chicago Bears fan. So that is a cool little thing that I want to add in today's video, that he grew up a Bears fan and he is from Chicago. So that makes this deal even more sweeter to bring a guy that grew up a Bears fan, much like Cole Kmet, right? So it's cool to have guys on the team that grew up Bears fans and that truly love the Chicago Bears. So it's a dream come true for TJ Edwards to come home and play for the Chicago Bears. And obviously, when you look at TJ Edwards, he stands at 6'1", 242 pounds, and is only 26 years old. So he's still very young. Like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, he's still very young and still has a lot of room to grow, and he's only ascending from here. Another cool thing about TJ Edwards, and this is kind of like how it ties into like guys like Jack Sanborn on the roster. He went undrafted out of Wisconsin and signed with the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2019. So him and Jack Sanborn were actually teammates at Wisconsin. Played, I think he was a senior when Jack Sanborn was a freshman at Wisconsin. So we are reuniting Jack Sanborn and TJ Edwards on the Chicago Bears defense, which is also a cool little thing. But he went undrafted back in 2019 out of Wisconsin, signed with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2019. And in 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles, he appeared in 61 games with 47 starts and had 370 tackles, 206 of those being solo tackles, 20 tackles for loss, 17 QB pressures, 9 QB hits, 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. Edwards, when you really look at his game, especially when you just look at last season, he really came into his own as a middle linebacker in the NFL, and became a really dominant middle linebacker in the NFL when you just look at last season. And like I keep mentioning in this video, he is only continuing to get better. But when you're looking at just last season for TJ Edwards, he registered a team high 159 tackles through 17 starts. That ranks 7th most in the NFL and 2nd most in Eagles history. He also added last season 10 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 7 pass breakups, while being the leader and signal caller for a very good Philadelphia Eagles defense last season. So pretty impressive stat line for TJ Edwards. Once again, he's only 26 years old, and he's continuing to get better. So good news for the Chicago Bears that they're getting him right in his prime. So I'm excited to see what he's able to bring to the table here for the Chicago Bears defense. So Bears fans, TJ Edwards, an absolutely great addition to the Chicago Bears and to the Chicago Bears defense. This is a guy, once again, that started as an undrafted rookie back in 2019 and has continued to get better every single year, and has cemented himself as a legit starting middle linebacker, and a dominant one at that in the NFL, and one of the NFL leading tackler. So the Chicago Bears definitely got a great guy. When you look at TJ Edwards, you're getting a guy that is fast, tough, physical, and is a very smart football player. I mentioned it earlier in the video, but he received play calling duties last season for the Philadelphia Eagles, and really helped be a leader for that very dominant Philadelphia Eagles defense. So you're getting a guy that's going to come in and lead right away, and lead by example for this very young and rebuilding defense that we have in Chicago. So I'm excited about the addition of TJ Edwards and what he will mean for this defense. Overall, the Bears added a young, polished 3-down middle linebacker to their rebuilding defense, and my anticipation is that he will come to Chicago and play the will linebacker position for the Chicago Bears defense. We knew that linebacker was a need, and the Chicago Bears solidified that need by adding a guy like TJ Edwards. So I'm excited about the addition of Edwards, and I'm excited what he does for the Chicago Bears football team. I absolutely love this signing for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. So overall, I give the signing of TJ Edwards to the Chicago Bears a solid A grade. Before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. What grade do you give the Bears signing of TJ Edwards? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe.